We'll go to Matthew and then Maggie, please.
Okay, thanks a lot. On behalf of the Free UN Coalition for Access, thanks for the briefing, and here's hoping for that you'll do stakeouts after closed consultations throughout the month. It would be great.
That's the plan.
Okay.
It depends on your questions, Matthew.
Okay, well, here goes. Here goes. I wanted to ask about Syria, but particularly the airstrikes on Syria. I wanted to ask whether, obviously Iraq has invited the strikes that are taking place on ISIS or ISIL. Syria sort of hasn't necessarily invited them. So I wonder, what's your view of the legality? Do you think it would be preferable to have the Security Council vote on them, authorize them? How are they legal? And also I wanted to ask you on sanctions. I heard your remarks on Friday at that high-level event on sanctions, and I wanted to ask you there, but I'll ask you here, that about the training of monitors, believe it or not. One of them on the Eritrea Somalia monitoring group was shown a letter, and he resigned. And it's Ambassador Wildgrant said he was disciplined. And basically, he wrote a letter saying that an Eritrean dissident was in Australia and that he or the group thought he would be a good leader in the future of Eritrea. So it was kind of, some call it the regime change letter. Now, what I wanted to know is, among your various suggestions, is training for monitors, i.e. impartiality. Do you think, is there a need for that? And what training at present is given, and what ramifications are there from this resignation? Thanks.
To answer the second question, the question of how do you select the best experts and attract the best experts, frankly, in the first instance, and then select them to do these jobs, that is something that we've looked at during the high-level review, and that will be reflected in any product we try and attain. This is an ongoing process, by the way, so it's very much an organic process into the future. So those sorts of issues, indeed, are being looked at, it's not a simple thing ever in these things, because the composition of some of these groups, of course, is a complex process. Let's put it that way. But the issue you raise is of people's expertise and certainly impartiality, which must be a given. In terms of what we say are the objectives and principles under which the expert groups must operate, has to be taken as a starting point. In relation to Syria, the question, there hasn't been a debate of any substance on the question of airstrikes and whether they're legal or not. It's not been something which the Council has discussed, and I do not know whether members of the Council individually would want to make points about this during consultations. I just don't know. In terms of our national position, Australia is involved. We committed from the beginning, and we operate in Iraq under a request from the government of Iraq, and there are arrangements with the government of Iraq, both for the air operations we have, but also for the troops as trainers we're putting on the ground as well to assist, and there's a couple of hundred of those. Look, the question, I know what you're asking, but the question has not been discussed in substance in the Council, and as President, there's nothing really I can say on it.